ladies and gentlemen. You have waited all week.
Yeah, Boogie Page. Throwing it down for things BMX is ready. I know I am. Let's hack the ATB Airways. Let's kick it. All things BMX. It's a BMX show. Unlike the rest, if you need some info, they got the best. Like and subscribe, kick back and relax. Said it's all things BMX. It's a BMX show. Unlike the rest, if you need some info, they got the best. So like and subscribe, kick back and relax. All things BMX is streaming to you. So post up on your couch, screencast to YouTube. It's gonna be fun, it will be a blast. You gotta do much but kick back and relax. They coming to you live from a studio, or they might be at the track, man, you never know. So don't go anywhere when my rhymes are done, cause the show's just starting, let's have some fun. I said it's all thanks BMX. It's a BMX show, unlike the rest. If you need some info, they got the best. So like and subscribe, kick back and relax. I said it's all thanks BMX. It's a BMX show, unlike the rest. If you need some info, they got the best. So like and subscribe, kick back and relax. All things BMX got the boogeyman's back, so I wrote them this track to send some love back. JT, Melissa, Chris, and Paul did it damn and kinda get it entertain y'all. And I wonder who they'll have on the show as a guest. I bet someone good who's gonna impress. Guess I would just have to wait and see. Let's get the show going and start the party. Said it's all thanks BMX. It's a BMX show, unlike the rest. If you need some info, they got the best. Like and subscribe, kick back and relax. Said it's all thanks BMX. It's a BMX show, unlike the rest. If you need some info, they got the best. So like, subscribe, kick back and relax.
Welcome into the All Things BMX show. It's another Wednesday. It's another empty studio. I'm just hanging out alone this week. Tonight, we got episode 175, inching ever closer to episode 200. Tonight, Stay Rad, man. We got Nick Scott with us, owner of Stay Rad Awards, LearnBMX. He's also the TO out of BEND BMX, and you probably know him from this little BMX rap group known as the Bikeaholics. He's going to be joining us this evening. We're looking forward to talking all things BMX with him. As always, he's going to be joining us on the Danger Snack video chat line. Danger Snacks. It's the snack that's the difference between haulin' ass and draggin' ass. You guys use your discount code SHITSHOW, and you get a discount when you order online, all right? Make sure you guys go over there. Don't forget, you can support the show directly by sending stars. Right below the page, just click there. You can send stars to the show. It helps out here, buying new stuff, making things not hum around here. And you can also head on over to our Buy Me a Coffee page and help us out over there. I'm hunkered down here at the Big Top Desk, brought to you by Desoto BMX. We're in the Ethan Clark studios this evening. Melissa is in the Gatenine penthouse. She's not at the producer's perch. DVS is back there holding it down right now. She's upstairs still out with her upper respiratory infection. Chris is out with a cold. He's already asleep. And Damon's car alarm wouldn't stop going off, so he couldn't make it here. And Paul is out at the track this evening. So again, this is going to be me hanging out with you. Our show chat is brought to you by BMX Rocks Photography. And your chat question for the evening. Can Cam Wood dethrone Joris? Sound off in the chat. Let me know. Tonight's lightning round is brought to you by 110 Nutrition. If you guys haven't checked them out, make sure you do. Our show doesn't happen without the support of the following: Answer BMX, Job Apparel, and Bombshell Racing. Always helping us out here. And I want to tell you guys, we got a big event coming up here in Michigan. We're going to be off ripping in the mitten, as we say, at Paul's track over at Richfield Park BMX. And it's going to be a good time. We've got our, let me get over here real quick. We have our Hole Shot Challenge coming out. And I've got lots of people to thank for this. Crank and Cycle Fitness, Bombshell, BMX Rocks Photography, Rock City BMX, DB Sports, ASN, Getaware, Cry Plates, Hack Shack BMX Parts and Sales, Troubled Youth Clothing. They're going to be there vending. Job Apparel, Danger Snacks, Al Petrie and Sons Bike Shop, Richfield Park, and ourselves, ATB, putting it on. Got the gold sprint stands for the winners. Ooh, look at that bling. Yeah, buddy. So the winners of each class is going home from the Hack Shack with their own gold sprint stand. We are going to have a good time out there. It's this Saturday. If you're in the state area and want to make the trip, registration opens at 6:30, runs to 7:30. Cost is only $7. Gate practice will be running for 45 minutes from 7 to 7:45. Our classes are going to be 12 and under, 13 to 16, 17:39, and 40 and over. We got some beer on the line for that 40 and over class because you're going to need it after that. Again, I want to thank all the sponsors. And look, we need a few more volunteers. So if you guys are interested in volunteering, get a hold of me direct, and we'll find something for you guys to help us out with. Without that, man, let's jump into this and welcome our guest in. Nick, how's it going?
Hey, it's going good. I appreciate you having me on.
Man, thanks for carving some time out to talk BMX with us this evening. Looking forward to chatting with you for a while. Let's dive in. Are you ready?
Do it.
Let's not. We might as well not bump the gate, man. Just tell us, how did you find the sport of BMX, Nick?
Well, I kind of grew up with a single mom who I don't even know how she got me out to the track or why, but probably around 93, mid 93 or so, she brought me out to Chandler BMX in Arizona, and just said, hey, go up to the gate and get in there and roll down. So I sat on my seat, rode over the step up, down the hill to a double, flew off the seat and completely ate shit, and have been in it for a while since then. But that's kind of how I got into it, and continue to get back on the bike after that. So I'm still going,
Hell yes. Still out there grinding away. So how old were you when you found the sport?
I think just before 12 is when I got into it. So as a 12-year-old novice, out there, I remember, my first kind of, I didn't go to too many nationals and things like that, just having a mom who didn't have much money and things. So I kind of did the whole local scene for a while. So jumped in when I was 12 years old, and got, maybe turned expert or so around, like, I'd say maybe 14 years old, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And was, mediocre at best, but would just, moto fill and, make a couple mains here and there. But that was kind of my introduction into it. And, being a part of Chandler BMX was cooler now for me, because I think, like, as a kid, seeing like Shannon Gillette, we used to be a rider that was out there in the gate, who's still, working for USA BMX. And he was one older guy that we looked up to, as kids. And also another kind of memory we have is like Andy Contes was out of that track also. And I remember looking at him being like, man, look at this guy with this, sponsored by GT with the spin rims. He used to pull up to the track in this like yellow, like hot rod with his bike in the back and manual the rhythm section, all 8 rollers on his back tire and stuff like that. So it's kind of the memories I have as a 12 to 14-year-old out there at the Chandler BMX in Arizona.
Yeah, the big factory days there with GT when he was riding for him.
Yeah, no, totally.
Hey, so did you, as you were starting out and getting acclimated with the sport, you have any titles, state championships, anything like that you earned?
Man, back then, I don't think so. I think I was just kind of in it, having fun and riding with friends. We would just ride our bikes all day long and then go to the track, at night and ride there.
Mm-hmm.
I did that pretty much from 12 to 16. And then from that, it's like you find out, oh, you can drive cars, you can meet girls and stuff like that. So then, the sport kind of fizzled out. I'd say when I was 16 or so, I stepped away for probably 20 years, but
hey, it happens.
I had a good time growing up. And the thing that's funny about it is I was only in BMX for about 4 years, BMX racing for maybe 4 years, but that defined all of my friends even till now. So like, even those 4 years, all of my best friends, all the friends that I talk to now are from that 4-year period. So it's kind of crazy what BMX does, even if it's a short time, that you're into it, which is pretty wild.
Yeah. I mean, friends for life,
Yeah, totally.
That's it, man. They go everywhere. So you said you took a break at about 16.
Yeah, I took a break at 16. I mean, I guess when you go back to titles and things like that, the thing that kind of comes to mind, which is funny, is I remember I was driving to like a Gold Cup Gold Cup championship in Reno. And me and my buddy Jeff were on our way there with his dad was taking us. And I was like, man, wouldn't it suck to just get like, second place at a Gold Cup, there? And not take home the number 1 plate. 'Cause I don't remember back then if they did 1, 2, 3, or if it was just one. I don't remember exactly. But I was in the gate, I remember, with Donnie Robinson and Jason Ream, full gate, I made the main, going down the first straightaway. Everybody crashes in front of me, and it's just me and this other guy out front by ourselves. Everyone else is picking their stuff up and coming. So I'm going around the last straightaway, and I eat shit in the last turn by myself in second place. And then I get up and try to run to the line, and then I end up throwing my bike across the line, and I get DQ'd because I wasn't attached to my bike. So instead of getting second, I got last, which is exactly what I explained on the way there. So it was pretty funny.
Oh man.
So that was my closest to a big victory against, some factory riders like, Donnie and Jason Ream and stuff. So
you guys had some big dogs out there riding too. Yeah, man. So you had your little hiatus. You came back. When you came back, about how long ago was it that you got back into bike riding?
I'd say I got back it's probably about 6 years ago or so.
Oh, okay.
I was just kind of struggling in life. I was like, man, I don't do much, I got to find something to get into or whatever. And I found out that I now moved to Bend, Oregon, and I used to still ride bikes here and there, and had a dirt jumper, things like that, and got into it. But I found that there was a local BMX track, so I decided to go out there, and I ended up renting a bike, like a cruiser or something. And I got on it, and I was like, man, I feel like I can do this again.
Mm-hmm.
And I called my buddy up, who actually I met at Chandler BMX, who also lives in Bend, and I told him, like, hey, come out to the track, we could totally do this again and race, because we used to race when we were kids. And he was like, man, I'm not doing that again. Like, it's not happening. So then I bring him out to the track. He gets on a loaner bike, takes a few laps, and then immediately buys a bike the next day. And we were back in it, about 6 years ago. And that, that transferred from us just coming out to the track to now ended up, running the BMX track. So it's been a whirlwind, those last 6 years for sure.
Yeah, and you've got your kids are involved too, right?
Yeah, I have a son, 7-year-old son. He's a 7-year-old expert who's in it. He's been out at the track with me since he was 1, starting on a Strider bike. And because I ended up running the track, he was out there every single day that I was there, working on the track, and I'd have him in the car, taking naps and giving him goldfish and things like that. It's like, come on, buddy, you'll be good. I got to work on this and stuff. So he's literally grown up out there and
that's
lived
great.
there. So
that's awesome. Cool. What got so we're back, you're riding 6 years ago, you find your way to Bend, Oregon track. What was it that got you in? How'd you end up in, you're the TO now at Bend, Oregon. Like, how did that transpire? It sounds pretty fast. First of all, you just jump back in the sport, and here in the past few years, you're the TO. How that happened, and exactly how long were you in the sport before you ended up, taking that role over as the TO?
Sure. So I'd say I was probably in the sport maybe about 2 years. What kind of happened was, so the tracks would put out these, hey, if anyone wants to come help, we're doing pulling weeds and we're doing this or that. So me and my buddy, his name is Atul, the one that that I grew up with in Arizona, and got him back into racing with me. We used to travel around to all the state series and gold cups and things and just battle it out with each other. There wasn't many people in our age bracket, so it really just come down to like him and I just really racing each other, which a lot of people like to see, because we would just slam in the turns with each other. We didn't, we went nuts. But so this build day was happening where there was people to come out to work on the track. So we went out there, kind of got to know the people who ran the track a little bit better. And there was another build day where they said, hey, we're going to change something in the rhythm section. If you guys want to come out, if you know how to operate some equipment and whatnot. So me and my buddy went out there, and we started helping change something in the rhythm section. And then after that, the TO at the time had gone home, and we kind of changed that up. And there was this tabletop that was maybe only like 5 feet long going into turn number 2. And so many people would eat crap on the thing. It was just it's kind of, it was a good track, but it was a little bit run down, it was just all dirt and small turns and stuff like that. So I was like, man, we have this equipment out here. We should just change this to a big triple, going into the turn. We can get dirt here or there. And I'm like, all right, yeah, let's just do this. Matt will be cool with it. Let's just do it. So he left. So we did it as kind of like a surprise, like, hey, we're going to change this jump, going into turn 2. So we start changing it, and we make it and everything. And then he comes out in the morning and sees what he did and what we did. And he was not very fond of it at all. He was like, look, you can't just come here and start changing things and whatever. And we're like, oh, we just thought we were, helping the track. This little obstacle we thought was kind of lame. And, kids were crashing on it and stuff. It was too small. So we decided to turn to a triple. So he didn't like that. that situation that happened until practice happened that night, and everyone that was riding the track came out and they're like, "Oh, this is awesome! This is so great!" Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And he after reaming me about it, he kind of apologized a bit and was like, "Hey
good.
man, sorry, for getting on you. I appreciate you wanting to help things and stuff." And then he had only been the TO for like a year because he had to step up because someone else kind of dropped out.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, I'm not. He's like, I'm not really cut out for this type of thing. I got a lot of stuff going on. And then I basically ended up just kind of taking over the track from there. And me and my buddy Atul and Eric, who also out of Chandler BMX live here in Bend, ironically, but we just kind of took the track over and started redoing everything, from everything from the jumps to the way you sign up to registration to the whole deal, just trying to make it a better situation using our skills to do that.
So, quick question for you, then we'll jump back into the TO part. So when you're with your gap in your riding, you from 16 back to you said about 36. When you came back, what was the biggest change that you saw?
I would say the bikes were a big change
Okay.
too.
All right.
Just the geometry and the different things about the bikes. The thing that I thought was funny that was still a thing was I remember back then people were talking about carbon forks.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, carbon forks are so cool, and like, oh no, you don't need them, and this type of stuff. And I feel like when I came back, that situation was still happening. Like people were still talking about carbon forks versus other forks. I'm like, that's still a thing, So that was kind of weird to come back into. But the other thing too that I realized is how many bike brands were out. Like I didn't know any of them when I came back. I was like, "Where's GT, Robinson, Powerlite, and Auburn?"
Exactly.
And like Elf or whatever, Schwinn and stuff. So I didn't know all of the new bike names at all.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what all these new companies were at all. So that's probably the biggest change I would say.
Okay. All right. Great answer, man. So back to the TO part. You and your buddy step in. Come along, and you just commented here a second ago, you're using your strengths. So first thing you implemented that you found to be a success at Bend BMX, so what was that?
The biggest thing was when I went out there, there was people lining up, to pay for registration and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And their parents were just like, the line was so long, and I'm like, this doesn't need to be this way. We could just do this online, and build a little website and do online registration and
Mm-hmm.
just plug everybody in. Since then, we've gone to the USA BMX, way of doing it through their website. But I kind of implemented that so then people could, sign up online and just take care of it and be ready to race when they went out there. So that's probably the biggest thing I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Just making it an easier way to get on the track, for parents and kids and not waiting and stuff like that. So eliminating that.
Was there something that you might have implemented that isn't in play today? Maybe not, it didn't just fail, but something that, you guys got together, made it, and then it was like, this didn't pan out.
Man, I can't really think of too much.
Great.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty good. The thing that we try to do at our track is we try not to like push like, hey, we need helpers, we need volunteers, we need all that type of stuff. Because I feel like the more that we push that on people, the more that they're kind of like they turn away because they don't feel like they have to help if they come out.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of take it upon ourselves to kind of do everything. And then when people see like, oh, this place is looking good, then they kind of ask to help themselves. But for the most part, it's been a pretty good situation out there. It's pretty positive and stuff. We run into things here and there, but nothing too crazy. Okay.
So by not asking for help and just leading, you guys have done good at recruiting volunteers.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that, and also like local companies to help with track. So when I took it over, the whole entire place was dirt. So from the track to entering into the track, the starting hill, the staging area was just all dirt. So when I got into it, everyone always said like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to have paved corners and stuff like that? But the amount of money that this track brought in at the time, it just wasn't feasible to happen. So I just started making phone calls to local paving companies and saying like, hey, do you mind meeting us at the track? We're looking for sponsors to donate some asphalt and maybe pave some turns or, do things. And I just got quite a few no's, from it. And then this one call I made was to a woman who answered who said, actually, my son's coming out there tonight to race. And I was like, oh, okay, great. And she was like, so I know who you guys are. And she ended up having her boss come out. And I told him that we wanted to pave the corners and see what he can do as far as any type of donation stuff. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to pave your corners. If I don't have to pave the corners, how about I do the starting hill for free? So that was kind of the first thing that we got paved out there. And since then, we've been through the two different gates. We now have a Pro Start Electric out there, and the way that kind of came about is just really just doing everything ourselves. As far as we started doing the turns ourselves, the paving ourselves, and then this guy from Visit Bend came out and he said, "Man, I haven't been here in like 3 years. I can't believe what you guys have done to the place. I want to help you guys out." So he ended up helping us get into getting a starting gate from Pro Start, and a few of other things too. So they've been a big help over the last couple of years with helping us implement some of our projects and things.
Nice. You said you got the electric one from Pro Start?
Yeah, we have that one.
Nice. All right. That's I'm working on getting him on the show. He's a busy guy. He's a busy guy, but I got a solid.
Oh yeah, no, he is for sure. Yeah, like if we have questions and things, getting a hold of him can be a little challenging sometimes, because just the time difference and whatnot. But he's always gotten back to us and helped out when he can. So
nice.
Yeah, Quentin's a good guy.
Yep.
Good guy
So good things, bad things so far as you in the TO role that you've experienced. We'll start with what's been some of the good thing for you.
Yeah, the good things for me is I originally didn't get into it because I was like, oh, I want to have all these kids, racing BMX and stuff like that. I originally got back into it more selfishly, like, man, I need something to do. Like, I need to get physical and do things again. So after I got into that and realized I needed like some help, just getting exercise again and having something to have my mind on, putting our passion into the sport and, building things out of just the love of building jumps and changing things to make it better, brought more kids out there. And I remember one time I was at the track and me and my buddy Atul were just standing back and we're like, dude, look at this freaking place. Like, look how many kids are here. Like, this is crazy. And then it took me back to like my Chandler BMX days and what that did for me as a kid, and then realizing all of these kids now have so many friends because of the BMX track. And it's like, it's cool to think that wasn't intentional. That wasn't my goal at the beginning, but it's definitely my goal now, to bring more kids in, look at the amount of, friends they can make out of it, the confidence that it builds, all that type of stuff. So I'd say that's the most positive thing is kind of just bringing kids out there and getting them dialed. Nice.
What's your guys' program for new riders? Like, what do you guys have in place, and what do you have, kind of in play for the future as far as the new rider part?
Yeah, so our new rider stuff, we originally were going to work with the Bend Parks and Rec department because they have like a magazine that comes out for kids to like get into all the sporting events, soccer, baseball, all that type of stuff. So we were going to be a part of that. And then COVID happened. And then while we were dealing with the COVID stuff, I decided to create a website called LearnBMX.com. So kids can go on there, sign up for camps and clinics. We typically do them during the summertime to get new riders out of the track. And then we, do like a 4-week kind of series there. They come out to the track, once a week and get, not one-on-one, but there's probably around 25 to 30 kids. And we have 3 coaches that are out there, coaching them and getting them into the sport. And we ranges everywhere from kids on mountain bikes to kids on Disney bikes with tassels, and stuff like that. So that's kind of how we do it. So that website you have is not mine. Mine is LearnBMX.com. I think that one's LearnBMX Racing.
Sorry, let me get it up.
It's all right. No problem. But yeah, me and a couple of buddies started that, and it's been great. It's been a good kind of success of having new kids, come out there and stuff too. But
how long is the season where you're at?
So it varies on weather, but it's typically starts in April and ends in November. So, and it's mainly because the track surface just goes to complete hell with all the snow and stuff that sits on it. Some winters aren't as bad. This is the first year that we have a track surface on it, so we have a crushed basalt that's on the track right now, and it seems to be holding up really good during the rain and stuff. So we're hoping that when we do have days that we can ride out there, then it'll be ready to go. So that was our goal this year, is to get a track surface put on, and we did a full rebuild this year as well.
And what's your normal uptime and downtime like when you're opening your season up that you're putting in to get your track open and running?
Yeah, so typically when we go out there, we're starting over from scratch, as far as putting the track back together. Like the whole thing needs to be packed, rolled, reshaped. We get about, you take a step on the track and your foot sinks in when you go out there in, in April it's just dust out there. So um, typically about maybe 3 weeks or so,
Okay.
we can get up and running and going. And then we get hit with another snowstorm or something and start over. But we're hoping that all changes this year, or next year, I should say, during the next season, and we're just kind of ready to go. That's that photo that was up there. That's the new surface that we have on top of it, and the new rebuild that we did.
Did you certain kind of special surface? What is it? Is it like the crushed limestone stuff? What'd you guys do to this?
So that's basalt that we have on there. So it's like a crushed basalt stone,
okay.
On top, and then after it's pretty rocky. So we decided to get like a that kind of the dust from that basalt. We asked, can you guys just provide us like the flour in a sense, crushed us down to flour? And they're like, yeah, sure. So they showed up with, basically flour delivered to the track, coated the track again with that, and then glued that surface on top of the basalt that was already glued before. So it seems to be holding up pretty well. We won't know until the winter comes through, but
yeah,
that's kind of our experiment that we've been going on there.
Nice. Be interested to hear how that works for you, because you guys' winters are a lot like us here in the Midwest with the frost and the snow and temperatures.
Yeah, we've had different people say, hey, you should try this, or no, you shouldn't try this or that. So we're gonna give this a try and see how it goes. And then all that, like that grass that you see on the outside of the AstroTurf and stuff, was from an old soccer field delivered, and it's the most daunting task ever to deal with. They showed up in rolls, like 10 rolls we broke one machine trying to move the rolls. They were so heavy, but we basically cut it off into 5-foot sections and then have to shake out all of the rubber and sand out of that stuff, then pull it over where we want it and then stake it down. So it looks great, but it's a huge pain in the ass to do it. And the left side of the track over there, we're still working on getting the rest of it done, but it's all coming together. So the money that we do get, we make it go a super long way. It's just a handful of us out there just, having fun and laughing while we do it.
It looks great, man. You guys are killing it. I mean, visually, that looks awesome. And I love the Big Ben sign in the back. That's awesome.
Yeah, that actually is on the turn now. So we had to take it down because we repaved those turns. But it's on the back of the turn now. And that was like a decision we made, it was maybe like 3 years ago or so. I told my buddy Todd, I was like, hey man, let's make a Big Ben sign and put it on the back. Let's go get 4x8 sheets of plywood and paint them white, and just kind of took a pencil and cut them out, and they're concrete in the back of the turn. So because everything's just kind of done on a whim out there, but it seems to work out.
Sounds like you got a good group. You guys are making stuff going on. Do you guys do any sort of fundraising? And like, aside from the sponsors, which we'll talk about that, but you guys have fundraisers that you're doing?
Yeah, we do fundraisers. We do lapathons each year. The majority of our donations come from local companies. So when we started doing the LearnBMX thing, that brought a lot of parents out there. So it'd be a lot of parents coming out to the track. We met a few of them who were, in the construction business, painting business, stuff like that. I feel like once one of them gets involved, then they talk to their buddies, and another one comes and gets involved. And that's what's kind of cool about Bend. It's like it's not that large of a city, so everyone's pretty well connected with different people and knowing people. So all of the stuff that we have out there, a lot of it has been from donations from these large companies that are in the area. So like our concrete work for our gate was donated. The asphalt, for the whole facility was pretty much donated for the most part. So a lot of all that stuff happens from donations and just making phone calls and stuff like that.
Nice. Just to pause for a second. Hey, if you guys have questions for Nick, you want to get them in the chat, we're going to do our chat check-in here about 10, 15 minutes. So put them in there. If we want us to ask those questions over to Nick, please do. Networking has got you guys a lot of we'll call them corporate sponsors, business sponsors. Can you explain what the Lapathon is for somebody that doesn't know?
Yeah, so the Lapathon is basically we have tell kids, you're going to do as many laps as you can. So you go to your neighbors and stuff. I remember back in the day when you used to ask your neighbors to like pledge for something. I remember doing it when I was a kid, where how many layups I could do or something like that. You get a dime or $0.25 or whatever for how many laps you can do. But that's kind of we implemented in the track. And we have another track that's called Smith Rock BMX, and they started doing that a couple years ago. So we started implementing it at our track, and we got together and did like a group. Last year, we did a group fundraiser where we had the winning prize. Whoever did the most laps got a ride on a helicopter that like landed on the BMX tabletop at the track. So that was kind of like the thing that everyone was battling for, to get the most laps, and stuff like that. But it generated a lot of money. It's kind of an easy thing to do, and it works pretty well. We weren't able to do one this year, but yeah, that does work great, doing a little lapathon deal for them.
Well, dude, how rad to win a helicopter ride that picks you up at the bike track. Come on.
Yeah. We have a guy who rides. His name is Chris Jordan, and he races out at the track, and he works for a helicopter company. So he's like, hey, how about we, put this together and stuff. So it's really just collectively everyone coming together with ideas, and using their kind of hookups and things like that for it.
Yeah, man, it sounds like you guys done a lot of networking, got yourself really known within the business is around Bend. Like, great work. Tip of the cap to you guys. Let me see. I'm just checking the chat real quick, you guys. That's on this screen. That's why I look away. I apologize, Nick. But over to I wanted to swing around kind of to the LearnBMX. I saw some of the tabs on there. The birthday, you guys have like a birthday tab in there. Like, what do you guys do for birthdays, and what are some of the other things you guys do? I see training new riders, birthdays, things like that. Kind of walk us through a little bit with the LearnBMX part.
Yeah. So I just wanted there a place to go, to be like somewhere that's easy for people to get started in the sport. Because most of the tracks, we have the USA BMX kind of website that everyone's all the tracks have.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to make there's something easy that people can go to get signed up, for either to start racing BMX, or if they wanted to do training. And that's kind of why I started that LearnBMX deal there. So like on the page that you're on, if you go in there, you can go to like the beginner camps and then intermediate camps. Then we have like special guest clinics come, they can sign up there,
Mm-hmm.
For it too. So it's just something it's easy. It gives you step-by-step instructions. Like if you go to that new riders tab, it tells you like step 1, sign up here, get a membership. And then it shows our hours, and stuff like that. So just making something really easy for someone that doesn't know anything about the sport to jump in, make it look like it's, really geared towards the new kids, because those are the ones that keep the sport going. And that's kind of what we're geared towards, with it. And this next season coming up, we're really going to go towards, getting the schools involved, and our local pro racer, Olivia Armstrong, is going to start doing like some speaking at the schools and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, with it. So just giving options for people to come out to the track and make it easy for them.
Well, for those that are going to be listening in the podcast form, I urge you, please go to the website. If you're involved in the track, even if you're not, go there and then tell your TO, check this thing out, because it is super user friendly. Just scrolling through it here on the screen, and you guys watching, you can see the new rider part tab is just, it's step 1, step 2, step 3, and I like you've got within step 2 like where they can go get parts. You plug in your bike shops that support your track. Then you've got your information literally broke down 1, 2, 3, 3. This is when we practice. This is when we race. You've got your links in there to go get your membership. Great job. Super user friendly. Gosh, you guys killed it. Nice work there.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was the goal. Just, make it easy for people to be a part of the sport,
Very, very cool. So here's what we'll do. We're a few minutes early, but how about I jump over, and I'm just going to go into the chat, and I'm going to ask and pull up the questions here that we've got in the chat for you already, and give some shout outs. So our chat room is brought to you by BMX Rocks Photography. Looking forward to having them out at the Whole Shot race this weekend. They're going to be out taking pictures for us. They got some stuff. All right, we'll get that. I got that question queued up. Real quick, want to go through, give some shout outs. Brandon Lewis, thanks for joining. GQ Videos, thank you. Chris Beer, homesick, watching from his bed, I assume. Timber Nation. Damon is home trying to fix his alarm on his Jeep. That's what I heard. Rick Carter says, hey, what's happening? Ben Powell, hey, I'm doing what I can, trying to run everything here in the studio. Appreciate you. Noah Robinson, thanks for joining. Jane, appreciate you guys hanging out with us this evening. Jinky and A-Rod throwing the horns up. Kip Edwards from AOT's joining. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us this evening. Gatenine Number Plates is in here. Jay Oaks, our guest next week. coming in. He says he loves the Bend track, one of the favorite tracks we visited last year. Looking forward to riding the new build. Dave D'Artonia joining us in here. George Vick, hey, what's happening, man? Thanks for hanging out with us this evening. Martin Kennard, he said, track looks a little bit like Madtown up in Wisconsin, the same kind of surface. And Damon Tooten says, hello, family. And we do have a question coming for you. Dave D'Artonia wanted to know, do you run a league there, or do you just run like your own thing through your LearnBMX website?
So I just run it through the LearnBMX website.
Okay.
There. So yeah, we just have our own. It's kind of, you know, similar to that, where it's just people can sign up, do a 4-week camp, and we just kind of do our own deal, you know, with it.
Cool.
So I haven't really looked into doing like the one through USA BMX.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really even know the ins and outs of like, you know, how much goes to USA BMX, how much goes to the track, you know, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own like waiver system and everything through ours. So we just put it there. It's pretty simple to do, you know, for it.
Very
I mean,
cool.
I guess I'd say simple, but it's also just because my background with web design and things like that make it easy, you know, so.
All right. Well, let me double check, make sure I didn't miss anybody. You know, I didn't see any answers in there from our BMX Rocks question. Can Cam Wood dethrone Joris this year? What do you think, Nick? You think he's got it in the tank?
If he puts that cowboy hat on top of that helmet, you know, while he's racing, I think he could maybe pull it off. But other than that, I'm not sure, man. Didn't Joris just come through with like a big win just recently?
Dude, he at the World Cup. So he went World Cup. Cam stayed and did SoCal. Both look.
Right.
Dude, Joris looks like he ain't even trying now. I mean, his gate starts look like they're just, and he barely moves going down the straight. That dude's core must be impeccable, man. That guy he's just so fast. He's making it look so easy. Yeah. But Cam's putting it out there. And
how old is that? How old is he now?
33.
Yeah, 33 and still out there just like destroying, you know. So it's pretty cool.
He didn't just squeak in at that World Cup win. Like, he won. Like, he let him know Papa Dade is out there to take the win. So it's
he's got that dad power, man.
Yeah, he's out racing for diaper money, man. He's got to get that diaper money, man. Yeah, you guys sound off. Let us know what you think. Hey, thanks for joining Hack Shack. We were talking about your sprint stands earlier. Yeah, so let me jump in here and appreciate everybody joining us this evening. Talking with the T-Track operator from Bend, Oregon, Nick Scott, this evening. Also runs LearnBMX.com. And it's also what would your official title be at Stay Rad Awards? Is it Chief Mother Effer in charge?
Yeah.
Okay. We can go with that one.
There you go.
I like that title anyway.
Yeah, I kind of do everything. I kind of do everything myself with LearnBMX. And I mean, I've had a lot of different, business ventures through the years and stuff with involving other people, and they've been great. But I kind of decided to start something myself where I'm kind of in charge a little bit, you know, so I don't have to count on or rely on other people to get things done or whatever and stuff like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been good. It's been a fun thing to get started. I actually got into it because being a track operator, we buy a lot of awards, and which they're great. There's a lot of awards that are out there, but I just decided to kind of maybe change things up and make some things for people that they could easily hold on to, that are of good quality, that they want to keep. And I mean, because always, even growing up, I still had trophies in my mom's attic that she would call me up and say, "Hey, we got to get these things out of here," and stuff like that, you know, and just not being able to travel with them because they were either too big or too clunky, or they didn't hold up and stuff like that. So decided to kind of start something to get people excited about earning something new.
And how long ago did you start the Stay Rad Awards?
So I would say about 8 months ago. I was on my corporate job. I was on a Zoom call, and I woke up one morning and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm not into it. I was an account executive working in the self-storage industry, and I was just like, I'm not into this. You know, I'm into BMX. Like, what can I do to help generate funds and still be a part of the sport and kind of focus on it? And about 8 months ago, I just quit my job and decided to just go for it full time with the Stay Rad Awards. And it's been going pretty well so far. I keep my bills low, so I can I can do the things that I want to do.
All right.
It's been good. It's just kind of myself running it and designing and dealing with manufacturers and designing molds and stuff like that. So just kind of what I'm into. And
Nice.
been going good so far. I wake up, kind of happy and in a good mood of what I'm doing. So it's good.
All right. So one, congratulations for that's a big leap, man, stepping out of that corporate world and going for yourself. So kudos to you. It's fun. I just left the account executive job world myself. It's like, that's very coincidental. So what, when you were looking at the landscape, I feel like you guys just came out of nowhere, first of all, with your stuff. And it was just like, didn't hear. And then all of a sudden man, you got to see these guys' awards. This stuff is awesome. Which we've had some tracks here in Michigan have your guys' products as giveaway. I can attest that your stuff is quality. It's awesome. It's unique. It's different. What's some of you wanted out of corporate, stay in BMX is kind of the motivation. When you were, looking at that idea, what were some of the goals that you looked at that you wanted to have with the company?
So the biggest thing, kind of for me with it is I really wanted to create something that was different. So there's a lot of award companies out there that you can purchase things from that aren't even a part of BMX. And I wanted to just create the quote unquote kind of cool company to be a part of, that does fun things and is all about just having fun with BMX.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of was my main goal with it. So like behind the scenes before I started it, I went through a lot of, because I kind of just came onto the scene like everything was already up and running and been going for a long time, which it took me a while to get to where I am now, or to where I was before I even released it, with trying multiple different molds and products and things that I could, manufacturers that I can count on and stuff like that. So it was definitely a process to get it going behind the scenes, until I ended up launching it. But yeah, really just being able to create something that people are excited about. It's just cool when people come up to me and say, hey, we really appreciate what you've done. Or, when we saw that your awards are at a certain race, so we decided to travel there. And then, track operators telling me that they had, the biggest event or the most riders at their event, that my awards were, for that state. So it was cool to think like, okay, this is actually making a difference and making more riders go to events that may have not wanted to go before, just to get something unique that they see out there. So I feel like it's working pretty well, with it. But
yeah. What's been your one product you had that was like the most difficult to get from idea into your hands as a finished product?
So the most difficult one, because so I have, I'll kind of show you here.
Yeah,
this gives you an idea. So this is like a 4-track series on it. So these little coins here are magnetic on the sides, and they come out. So depending on what place that you got at the track, so they're bronze, silver coins that come out of it. So I had an idea of how do I make a big metal that is going to allow 4 tracks to do a series together, and then have these magnets that are going to stick to it and have it all work. So that was kind of the biggest struggle with going back and forth with the designing to the mold to, really making it all work. Because when I was contacting the tracks in our area, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this metal, I'm going to do this award, without knowing for sure that I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I went after it and made it happen. So I would say the most challenging, and a lot of troubleshooting to make sure that's going to be dialed in with, them not falling out and being a quality metal that people are going to want and keep.
So the one I've got up on screen is the one you were holding.
Yep.
So the little cups on each end those are the actual magnetic pieces you were speaking to.
Yeah, exactly. So they fit in there. They fit into there via magnet on the back, and then those are also made out of an alloy metal too. So it's pretty cool how it all comes together, But it seemed like people were into it, and makes it so the tracks can get together if they're doing a series, like doing 4 state races. That's what this one is. 4 state races all together, and then they have one essential award that they purchase, and then all of the pieces, make it all come together. So.
Well, that's and this is one that hangs too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
You've got it
hangs around your neck. There it's heavy,
Yeah.
but yeah, the kids like it.
And
That's another one that we did there is the same type of thing there. So that's another state series that has the magnetic coins on it.
very, very cool. We had talked Saturday night on our Mixed Open show about tracks doing these, get together with neighboring tracks and have shootouts, have series. And I mean, these are some really cool awards, man. So appreciate diving into that, because that's huge, man. It just helps each other. And now you've got some really rad awards and pendants and whatnot. So what's your biggest seller? Like, what are the tracks buying? What's that?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty even across the board with it, honestly. But what I noticed that kids really like are the rings. We did it at our track too. So the rings are super cool because it's completely different than what they're kind of used to.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids really like those, and the gold and silver chains too that we do. So instead of all of our awards that we do with a custom lanyard, we could also do with a chain,
Mm-hmm.
on it. So it's really just the main that's completely custom to each track. So nothing's the same. It's always different. Kids are wearing the stuff to school now, and stuff. So it's cool because they wear it to school. They ask, where'd you get that?
Mm-hmm.
And on it. And that's a new thing I'm kind of getting into is the belt buckles there. We did those for Emerald Valley state championship final. And the kids love that, that one too. All of the, adults even taking photos with them and stuff too. They're, so it's been fun.
So this is something that's pretty neat. I like you guys do here on the our state championship race here. Used you guys, and on the back of each award, which you're not going to see it where I'm holding it up, so I'll do my best to pull it up on the other screen. You have in there the event and the finish, which that's on the back of the award too. That's a great idea. Where'd that idea come from?
So that award mainly also comes from because when I create these things and make these molds, it's the initial setup of it is pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't become expensive over the per piece, but to generate it has to be one separate mold. So in order to tell what place it is, you have gold, silver, bronze. But I also wanted people to know what place they're getting, just on the back, just to make sure what you're getting when you watch this. You look at this, a couple years from now or whatever, and you want to know what place you got at a certain track or what event it was. I try to add that to the back of it, of each of the awards too.
Yeah.
That way you kind of remember what year it's from and all that type of stuff.
And again, really, that was a nice touch there. I noticed you have, let me pull this one up. You got your local point coins, and let's talk about these for the tracks.
Yeah, so with the local awards are hard to get in a price point, and make it something that somebody wants that's different. So I decided to come out with these local coins that are made out of alloy, and they're completely a custom mold, engraved and everything into them. This way, it's like you can go to each different track and collect coins from each of them. I thought would be kind of a cool idea. You can display them on your wall and stuff like that, and something easy. Doesn't show up to the track in a huge box. It's just something that can sit on the side and pass out easily, even at the finish line, for track operators. So just something different to offer, out there at a price point that kind of works for a local race. So that's my main goal, is to find things at a price point that works. Cause I understand, that track still are looking to make money and they got to give out an award. So let's try and find something that's unique, high quality, that you can give out at a local race. And we have a couple other things that we're working on coming out at a price point that works for local races too. So that's kind of our main goal. Is it's just nice being a track operator because I kind of know what they're looking for,
right,
and the price point that we're looking for. So I try to kind of base everything off of that.
Man, you sound like one busy dude.
Yeah, it can be a little bit.
How many nights are you at the track?
So we race on Mondays and Wednesdays when we have the camps going on. That's another, 2 days that we do at the track.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be out there 4 days of actual, riding. And then we're out there doing maintenance stuff, too, here and there. My buddy Albert, I heard you mention him actually on the chat, but, he's, has two daughters that race, Sophia Rodriguez and Peanut Rodriguez. and they're out there all the time helping out at the track too. So we kind of just live out there. My son lives out there. He rides all the time while we're working. So it's kind of a labor of love, in a sense. But
Man,
that's why I was like, I gotta find something.
what do you do outside of BMX? Do you have any hobbies outside of the sport?
Outside of BMX, I don't do too much other than that. We, hanging out with friends and things like that.
Yeah.
And taking my son to his football game, football games and baseball games, stuff like that. He does that outside of BMX too.
Okay.
So pretty busy running around, doing a lot of stuff here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So that's why I was like, I can't, because when I started doing my corporate stuff and really going into that corporate job, I mean, the track starts to go downhill because I'm not as focused on it. So that's why I was like, what's something I can do to keep me kind of going and moving with BMX that will also help the track out, and I can also generate money and make an income to pay my bills. So that's the goal.
So how is you? I mean, it seems from our perspective, you've been very warmly greeted, brought into the BMX world. I mean, has that been for you? Is that how it's been feeling since you started the Stay Rad Awards company?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's other companies that make awards out there, which I think is freaking awesome, that there's other stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, for me, it's like, I know BMX awards and stuff have been the same for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So me coming into it with some new stuff, going on, I don't know if it ruffles other feathers or not, but I try to stay positive, with anyone that I kind of interact with or,
Mm-hmm.
come up with. I appreciate what everyone's done for the industry, and I'm just hoping to be a part of that too,
Yeah, I think you got a really promising future with it. I mean, the Toledo Speedway, which is about 45 minutes an hour south of where we're at, they had the rings, and man, everyone was talking about that. And you had hit on it too. There was people that were like, dude, I'm going just to try to win one. Like, it was they weren't going for their gold cup. They were just like, I'm going to try to win one of those rings. And I saw people like double fisting because they went on 2 bikes and stuff. And I'm like, man, check them out. That is cool. So, yeah, you're killing it, man. And these belt buckles, I gotta get somebody to get these belt buckles, man. Gotta get them.
Yeah, those are cool, man. It's fun. It really is. It really is a good time, doing it. I enjoy,
Mm-hmm.
making stuff and designing stuff and working with tracks and be like, okay, I kind of start off with them. I'm like, what's your vision? What ideas do you have? A lot of them are just like, just send me what you think, then we kind of build off of that and go
Mm-hmm.
from there. So it's nice just being able to do everything custom with it. So I kind of use whatever ideas they have and implement it, because it's really kind of the sky's the limit on what they want to do. Which is
There's a question that came in. Braden Lewis wanted to ask, how hard was it to make the Oklahoma State boombox?
So it wasn't super hard to do
Mm-hmm.
that, with it. I mean, I say that, but I've been in design and stuff for a long time, and doing stuff. So for me, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just kind of like trying to find a cool like 80s, 90s, kind of theme to go with it. And then it's really just making sure that everything, the dimensions and everything works out, when you're making the mold and stuff like that. So nothing's too difficult. It's really just it's working with the tracks and finding an idea that works, with it.
What's the so let's say I'm going to use Waterford because the ward's sitting next to me. Waterford came to you. What's that time? Like, how long did it take the turnaround for that order from like, they're like, yo, hey, we want to do this. What's that timeline look for if somebody reaches out to you?
So the time frame, I like to tell tracks, once we come up with the design and we get it going, about 5 to 6 weeks, to get it completed. I like to have, as much time as possible, just because I don't want to run into any type of hiccups and have it. So, because I've been to races where tracks don't have their awards on time. So I don't like to have time crunches, but I can get it done, if we need to. But it's just nice to have plenty of time. If they give me, 6 to 8 weeks and give me a design and we go back and forth, and just makes it less stressful, to make sure everything arrives before their event. So
Yeah.
you can do things as little as 3 weeks, but I don't like to.
Yeah. So was this like you were speaking earlier, a mold? Like with this one, was this a mold that you made with Waterford with the wave and all that stuff?
Yeah. So they kind of came to me and said, "Here's my logo."
Okay.
and just kind of come up with something. So this is what I came up, for I think this one was for the state championship qualifier, the first one, I believe.
Yep.
And they just liked it, the first go around. So they've been really, really good to work with. And it's been a kind of a good little relationship that I've had with them, making stuff for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, I just have a vision in my mind. Like, I think this would look cool. And what do you think? And they're like, yeah, it looks great. Let's go with it. So
very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so like they're like molds, one-off molds for them that they're just for that right there, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, exactly. So everything to each track is completely unique. So I do have some awards online. Like if you're in a crunch and you need something for a double points race, you can go into the store and you can purchase, USA BMX. I made some USA BMX round logos or logoed medals with chains that you can just grab right off of the website. They're $24.99 a set, and I can just ship them out. So we have those in stock, and then we also have move up awards as well. So like intermediate and expert move up chains that you can give out to, your riders to kind of get them excited to get those wins and get those races in.
All right. Pull this up. This is what we were speaking about earlier, where you have things engraved on the back too. So I want to make sure people saw that.
Yeah, that one there is actually for the front of that one. That's actually the first award that I really made custom to kind of kick off these here for Nick Long. So he has his duffel bag dash, and I reached out to him and said, hey, I'd love to make some awards for you guys, for your duffel bag dash. I love what you're doing and raising money and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So how about we make some custom, chains for the winners at the Grands this year? So those are going to go to, like the awards that he gives out with the cash at the end of the year.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
And so you got trophies they can grab off the rack. Here they are. I knew I'd find them here in a second. Sorry, it took me a minute here. Man, those are sharp looking, man. What's the size? What's the size on one of these?
Those ones are 3.5 inches diameter around. There's and those are the intermediate and move up expert chains. Those are 4 inches across, there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a photo on the front website of my son and Hoagie Rodriguez wearing one of them. To give you an idea of the size on there. There you go, on the right side. Cool.
Man, where did all these ideas come from? Like, because this is so far away from the normal what we have in BMX. Like your move up stuff with the pendants, the things themselves. Like, was this stuff you had thought about in the past, or is this as you've been working, building the company, these are ideas that come along?
So kind of both. Like the belt buckles kind of came about after people talking about because there's a big horse community and stuff here, and they're like, oh, what about buckles or something? And I'm like, oh, I could look into that. I could probably get that going. So ideas come around, talking to people and getting things going and moving. But I don't know. It's just, I just kind of think of things that people would want to keep and would want to have, and it seems to be working out pretty well.
So just navigating around the Stay Rad website, super user friendly also. Get on there, check it out. Again, the links that we're talking about, the websites, all the links will be in the show notes. So if you guys are going to watch on YouTube, Facebook, or you're going to listen in the podcast versions, they'll all be in the show notes for you guys, so you can go find the websites and check them out. I strongly urge you guys to go check it out. It's, again, super easy to use. Sounds like ordering and working with you has been very, very easy. So we encourage all the tracks to check you out. What's the website again, real quick? I've got it.
StayRadAwards.com.
Perfect. Nice. Any future products you can give us a little sneak peek or a little talk to that you got coming out that you want to share?
Yeah. So, my main goal kind of going forward at the beginning of the season is going to be focused towards local stuff. So I want kids to be able to win things that are local, at local races that are a little bit unique. So I'm going to be doing the same type of design with like the custom lanyards that I do, but also making them out of wood and being completely unique. So they'll be cut out just like the mold that you see with all the other stuff. It'll be at a price point though that makes sense for local races. So I would say that's kind of the main goal, come out with something that is still high quality that can be used on a local level also.
Very cool. Michelle Gooden says Nick is the best TO ever. We've got a lot of people chiming in saying they want these awards at their state races or at their home track. So, hey, he gave the website. It'll be in there. You can put your track operator in contact, your state commissioner liaison in contact. Man, you gotta crack that Florida market, Nick. Oh, they'd love some cool stuff coming from you down there. That state series is fire, man. That would be
let's get it going.
Hell yeah. So real quick, I will check the chat real fast here. Looks like we're good. We're caught up. Some shit talking going on in there about Cam and Joris, so that's good. So I wanted to touch on this last part here. Then we're gonna do we'll do our lightning round and our trivia and so on. But I don't want to get too far in, you guys. I know there's some questions in there regarding the Bikeaholics, but we're planning on having the Bikeaholics on in the future with a show. So we don't want to get too far in, but I'm gonna ask you, man, like, how did the group all come together? Like, and whose idea was this?
So the way kind of to give you a little rough idea here. So being at the track, one day this guy comes up and he said, "Hey, I need a wheel for my kid's bike, and I heard you guys might have something laying around your garage." And I was like, "Yeah, I can bring you something out." And talked to him. I was like, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" And stuff. And he was like, "Oh, I'm in a band called the Mad Caddies." And I was like, "No way! Like, I used to listen to you when I was a kid." His name is Todd Rosenberg, and he's the drummer for the Mad Caddies. And he ended up becoming friends with him, and he has a studio in his backyard, which we didn't think much about. We're like, "Oh, cool, he makes music, whatever." And then my buddy Albert Rodriguez, he runs the track with me, and we hang out all the time. Our kids, play every day and, jump at the track, and it's just, we're always together. So one day we were out having a couple beers and stuff, and we were like, "Hey, let's go back to Todd's house and we'll make a song about Bend BMX." So we have a few drinks. We call over some people that live nearby, and we ended up just making this Bend BMX song. It took 30 minutes, and it was just hilarious, and we thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
So going from that to then, what if we started a kind of a BMX band and threw some names out there and stuff, and made it happen. So it's all completely a joke in a sense, that we've turned into a BMX race team, and we just basically make it all about having fun and not taking anything seriously. When we have your kids sign these like so-called contracts to be on the team, it's like just says have fun, and you got to sign your name, and that's it. You can wear whatever jersey you want. We'll give you a jersey, wear it if you want to. We've had Tangent has stepped up a lot and supported the riders and stuff with discounts on their products, and given frames and things like that to some of the top riders. So it's really just all geared towards fun, just to give you a little taste of it, and we can dive into that more when we get into the studio with Todd and stuff like that. But
absolutely.
But yeah, I'd like to do it more, be more involved with it and have more songs come out and stuff. We have one that we're working on now. Hopefully we can get finished up here pretty soon, but we were going after it in the beginning,
Yeah.
And USA BMX was kind of hyped on it at first. They were like, "Well, we can play your stuff, but you can't use, as many cuss words and things because we want to play it at events, So then we would like make the song the way we wanted to, and then we would, just add in like bleeps and things like that, for some of them. But I remember when they played our song at we had an expert girl song, and they played that at the rollout for the NAG 5 challenge at Grands, and we thought that was pretty cool, too. So yeah, we're hoping to get after it more. Our buddy Todd, who has the studio in his backyard, he kind of fell in love with a girl, and he told us, he's like, "Hey, I'm going to be going in the coffin for a little while." So the coffin's coming, the door's creeping up a little bit. He's coming out of that coffin more and more. So we hope to get some more stuff going on.
What platforms are you guys on, and where can they find the Bikeaholics?
Yeah, so you can listen to all of our songs on like Spotify, Apple Music. We have some videos on YouTube also that you can check out. Summertime Rides was a fun one that we had. Dick Cheeseburger, we flew him out, and he came and partied with us for the weekend, and we're like, "Hey, here's a beat, come up with,
So it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's so good.
He flew out and he had like the best, the best track. I thought it was just awesome. But what's funny about that is I was telling you about the helicopter ride earlier.
Yeah.
So we picked him up from the airport. We tell our buddy Chris, like, so Albert works for BMW, and so he can, rent cars or whatever. So we go to the airport, we pick up Dick Cheeseburger in this I-8, and we had a sign, like a Coors sign that said like Dick Cheeseburger on it, waiting for him out there. And we pick him up in this BMW I-8 where the doors open up all crazy.
Yeah.
So he gets in that. He's like, "What, are you kidding me?" And then the buddy who had the helicopter, we took that car and then drove him to this other part of the airport, put him in the helicopter, and then landed him on the BMX track in Bend. That was like his entrance, to come and sing on the Bikeaholics track. So it was a great weekend for sure.
Some gangster moves right there.
Totally.
You guys are making things.
That we're all like balling and stuff. It's like, no, we just know a couple people have some things. We're broke,
Hey, it's all about them connections, man. Those bro deals, right?
Totally. Yeah, so it was a good time.
We'll get the merch link added to the links we got for your for the Bikeaholics over at your Wix site you have for it.
Yeah.
Is that all right? We'll get that in there. We'll post it in the chat. So if you guys are watching and you want to click on it, go check out their website. But let's keep that one, and we're gonna get all the guys together. And look, we finish our show with your song. By the way, I got motoed. We've been doing it for a few years now, and it's fitting for what we do. So we love it. We love what you guys are doing, and we're really looking forward to having you guys on here.
Yeah, you'll love the story about how that song came about and when it was created. It's pretty hilarious. So we'll tell you all about that.
Perfect. So with that, I'm going to check the chat real quick. And what we're going to do is, all right, we're good there. We are going to jump in and we're going to do the Melissa Liss trivia. All right. So normally Melissa does the trivia for us. She's got an upper respiratory infection. So she is off, but we're still going to do the trivia, and then we are going to dive into lightning round. So lightning round is going to be a fun one. You're going to have a good time. It is exactly that. You just lightning firing off questions at you, and you're going to answer those questions without thinking. We want to thank Bombshell Racing System for the support here of our trivia segment. There we are. All right. We got our prize pack, sticker pack, along with the danger snack in there. Got a tube of the danger snacks in there right here, and all the stickers from everyone that helps support the show. It's, it's getting a little cooler out, so we got one of those ghetto wear beanies for you. It's going to start cooling down. And from Answer, we've got a number plate for you. All right. There we go. Those are some of the awards there. Now, Nick, don't answer this because it does pertain to you, so we'll circle back to you to get the answer. And we're going to take this prize pack because we've got this big event going on. So the winner tonight, we're going to take this prize pack and we're going to use it at our Whole Shot event Saturday on your behalf. So we're going to do mystery motos, or whoever takes last, they might end up with it. We don't know. We're having fun at this race. It's going to be a good time. So we're going to take that and put your name on it, and you're going to be the one that's responsible for, we're going to be donating on behalf of you to the winners, whatever, at the Whole Shot event. All right, here we go. This is the trivia question for tonight. Let me move a screen here. So there we go. All right. Question. How long, hold on. Okay, there we go. How long was Nick back into the sport before he took over the TO role at Bend BMX? All right. Again, how long was Nick back into the sport before he took over the role as TO? All right. We are now going to jump into our lightning round. It is brought to you by our good friends at 110 Nutrition. We got a new product alert. If you guys haven't seen this yet, make sure you guys get over to 110nutrition.com and check out the super greens. They got fresh berry. You need these things, man. All right. Are you ready, Nick?
I'm ready.
Lightning round. Fire away. Here we go. First question. What was the last movie you liked so much you watched it twice?
You said movie?
Movie.
The Sandlot, man. I got a young kid, so I banged that one out quite a bit.
All right. Your favorite sport other than BMX?
I would say Probably football.
Football? What's your favorite team?
Cardinals from Arizona.
Ooh, all right, all right. One place you would like to travel to that you haven't been to?
Man, probably to some Florida BMX tracks, honestly.
Bro, I got to do that last year after the hurricane and got to be down there for about 4 or 5 months. Wow. Amazing. It was fun. What was the last thing that you Googled?
Probably all things BMX.
All right. Remember that. There's another question that's the answer to. What was the thing you found out about all things BMX when you Googled it, by the way?
It's the best BMX podcast show there is, man.
I feel like you might have watched one show or two. What's the favorite thing you like to do on a date?
Listen to a woman just tell me all about her life.
All right. Next question. Is your bed made right now?
No, it's not.
It is not. All right. Do you believe in aliens?
I believe there's something else going on out there. Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, good. That's all right. We'll take that. If you could transform into any animal, what animal would that be?
Probably a cheetah.
All right. I'm still waiting for somebody to answer a liger. We haven't got that answer yet. Here we go. Bike frame. Aluminum, carbon, or chromoly?
Aluminum, I would say.
Flats or clips?
I'm on clips these days, but yeah, clips.
Okay. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would that advice be?
To just, I don't know, I would say just be confident in everything that you do, even if you don't know the answer to it.
There you go. I like that answer. All right. Your favorite guilty pleasure?
Tub of ice cream and some popcorn in bed, maybe.
All right. Fair enough. There we go. If you had to change your first name, what would you change your first name to?
I'd probably change it to Scott because my middle name and my last name is Scott. So Scott would be a little interesting.
How that would work at the Social Security office or DMV. Like, what is going on here? Your favorite type of music you listen to?
Still used to listen to punk music from back in the day.
Favorite punk band? Go.
Probably Rancid, I guess.
Oh, good call. I'm a big NoFX fan myself, so I get down with the Rancid. Favorite punk concert you ever went to?
I would say probably a NoFX show. Yeah.
Oh, dude, they're effing wild. And
yeah.
They're still out there just grinding away, still doing it.
Yeah. It's funny. In Bend, there's a lot of stuff that comes through here. Like, I don't know if you know the band Guttermouth, but
hell yes, do I know Guttermouth? Now we're talking.
That's probably my ultimate band, I guess I should say, would be Guttermouth. Yeah, those guys are awesome, and it's cool. They're still doing stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's down to just the Mark Adkins lead singer by now, but they're still rolling, you know. But they come through town and like random shows just show up down the street at the Domino Room here in Bend, Oregon all the time. So it's pretty cool.
Rad. That's great. Favorite type of cookie?
Probably the white macadamia nut one.
That has been on the rise lately in the past like half dozen shows. That one's just clicking away, making its way up. Do you think your 12-year-old self would find you cool?
I think so.
All right.
I come to realize that like even when the older you get, like you still think that you're cool, you know? So like even, you know, when you talk to older men or whatever who maybe in their 70s or something, they probably still think they're cool. So
yeah, it's a good answer.
So.
Solid.
I don't know if my 12-year-old self would agree, but I think he would think so.
All right. So you got to follow me on this one. This is a fun one. All right.
Right.
Pull into a parking lot. You're driving down the row to park your car or truck, whatever you drive. There's spots open on both sides, left or right. Which side are you going to turn into to park?
Left side.
Left side. All right. That's been leading the charge. Your favorite holiday that you celebrate?
Probably Christmas.
Okay, I got 2 more for you. We're gonna go back to the punk rock stuff. Favorite Rancid album?
I think it's Let's Go, I'd say.
All right. How about No Effects album?
That's going to be Punk and Drublick for sure.
Damn, I'm 2 Hebes and a Bean. That's my favorite one there. All right.
Last. Do you remember the movie or the show Soil?
Yes.
And then like Sean Butler's part was like "Don't Call Me White" or whatever. I think that's what introduced me to like No Effects back then.
Was it?
Yeah, it was that.
Dude,
that's a Soil BMX video.
So it's great band. Great band. All right, last question. Favorite Wednesday night live stream, also podcast BMX show?
Let's see. That's got to be All Things BMX, man, for sure.
Thank you. We appreciate it. And looking back through here, we're going to jump in and check, see if we've got a winner. And how long was it before you were the TO, Nick?
2 years, I believe it was.
And we do. Martin Kennard. I'm happy to stick your name on. Martin don't even need a hat. He lives in Florida. He rides all those beautiful tracks. He don't need no beanie anyway. So, Martin, I'm going to take this prize pack, put your name on it, and we're going to give it away at that Whole Shot Challenge. So thanks, everyone, for answers in there. And let's go here. So we're going to, real quick, we're going to plug next week's show, next week's guest. And he was in the chat earlier. So, guys, make sure you tune in next week. Our guest is going to be Jay Oakes, is going to be on the show, and make sure you guys tune in. And he is of Marketing Breakthrough. He'll be joining us here on the All Things BMX show. His Marketing Breakthrough, he's been He actually Pro Start. He's helping Pro Start. He's helped some tracks. He's got his own podcast on marketing and things like that. Check him out. Go look him up. The link will be up after the show here tonight. So check them out. He's going to be on next week. I urge like all track operators, if you help at a track, you got a team, you're running yourself, tune in, listen. It'll be a good show. Got a couple more questions for you that I wanted to kind of touch on with you. What do you think, Nick, about the current state of professional BMX racing?
I think it's good. I think the payouts and things, for pros to show up, should be a little bit more, but that also has to come, money has to come from somewhere.
Yep.
I think back in the day, when I used to race, it was just, I just adored all the pros and thought it was like amazing, when I saw them, which I do see my son doing that a lot, but he does that based off of who he watches on YouTube. So I feel like all of these pros have to self-promote themselves to make them have a following and to give them a backing, on it. So I don't know if there's more that can be done behind the scenes or whatever. It's easy to say, oh, USA BMX should do this or should do that, but I'm sure there's a lot of other things that are happening behind the scenes to try and make it happen and whatnot. But I would say if you're a pro and you want to, you look at Barry Nobles, you look at, people that are doing things on YouTube and social media. I think that's just the way that stuff is going now. You gotta kind of get yourself bigger and better and help promote it, I guess. But I think it just needs to be promoted better, honestly. Yeah.
The sport or the pros need to promote better?
Probably both, but the pro situation may be better,
Okay. So do you happen, so the next question first is like, do you follow any of the international racing a little bit, like the World Cup?
I don't that much. I'll watch things when I see them.
Okay.
But my brain's so busy with other things and stuff. I don't get super involved in it. I occasionally get a notification that like Anthony Baccardo goes live and he's really entertaining. So I'll watch, that and stuff. But yeah, I don't get too diving deep on what's going on with the whole pro series. My son always just tells me like, oh, Drew Polk, because he's on, he's not even a pro, but he's on YouTube,
He kills it.
Saw him at the National. He was like starstruck, he went to SoCal.
That's awesome. So you kind of talked a little bit about the sponsorship thing, like, back when you were a kid and stuff. And we talking earlier with GT and the firm and all that. What do you think would be a way to get some of those big sponsors back into the sport, maybe outside of bike manufacturers? But I kind of pick your brain a little bit, like what you think could be done to get those kind of sponsors, outside sponsors, big sponsors back into the sport.
Yeah, I think it's, really, I think that they have to see that the big sponsors have to see that their money is going to go towards something. And that's why I think like when you look at the Barry Nobles who are doing the whole social media thing and stuff like that, I think more of that needs to be done to help promote it. Like, I don't know if you saw like how they promoted the SoCal race. I don't know if that was, it seems like maybe that was a separate entity of USA BMX that was promoting that, but they did an amazing job with all their social media and promoting it and getting the city behind it and getting more money for the pros. So whoever did that, if they, USA BMX speaks with them, I'm sure that they were part of it too. But if they do that across the board, they could probably see, more sponsors getting in and getting, their name out there and stuff like that. But it's really just researching other avenues, as far as like, getting it on TV, the ESPN stuff or things like that. I just don't know if that's going on, with it really. It just seems like everything's kind of stayed the same in a sense.
Right on. So we'll hone it down. Like you're doing some of this stuff right now. How do we grow the sport of BMX racing?
Growing BMX racing is just getting more kids involved and letting them know about it. So reaching out to your local, your Parks and Recs department, and trying to get involved and making it a normal thing. So like, you ask a parent, what's your kid doing for summer? What are they doing for spring? They're either doing soccer, they're doing basketball, they're doing all those types of things because it's just available from your local, parks department. You can just sign up and then they give you your little jersey and you're good for a couple months. So put BMX in that same magazine or put BMX on as a normal thing that kids are doing. I think that's kind of where it needs to go, because it's kind of like an outside sport, where it's like, oh, did you hear? Oh, I didn't even know what BMX was. Well, if it was a normal situation that was in local parks departments everywhere, then I think it would be a little bit bigger.
Nice. Love the answer, man. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. On behalf of everybody that's sick, that couldn't make it, on our side, we look forward to having you back on with the Bikeaholics. I want to throw the screen over to you for thanks, shout outs, and anything else you want to kind of touch on. So I'm going to put the camera over to you, and you can go ahead and give your shout outs and thanks and final thoughts.
For sure. So biggest thing I want to kind of thank is just all of our local community with Bend BMX. We have a Bend BMX, all of our volunteers that help out all the time out there. You all know who you are. I appreciate what you guys do to help us get the track rolling and get it moving and getting kids smiling and having fun out there. So that's kind of the biggest thing. Outside of that, I just appreciate the support that everyone's given me from doing the Stay Right Awards thing and appreciate what I'm doing with that. And I appreciate you guys, local tracks reaching out to me to get your awards and helping me, eat things that are other than ramen noodles and peanut butter and jelly. So I appreciate that. And hopefully I can keep rolling with it. And just anyone who's kind of supporting their local BMX tracks and helping out their TOs and grabbing a shovel or grabbing a turn to, watch after turn 1, 2, or 3. So,
awesome.
Yeah, that's about it, I would say.
All right. Well, don't go anywhere. I'm going to do our closeout here. And if you can hang out in the Zoom for a few seconds, I wanted to get with you on maybe getting a date or getting a time frame for the Bikeaholics. So just hang tight. I'll be right back over there. I want to take this time and thank our guest for joining us this evening. It was a really good time. Always fun time talking BMX, listening, learning. I want to thank you guys that tuned in this evening, and those of you that are going to be listening on the podcast forums or watching later. We appreciate you guys. It doesn't happen without you. On behalf of everyone here at the All Things BMX Show, thank you for joining us. Good night. God bless. And you stay classy, BMX.
I got moto. I got moto.